Alright, the path is now open to Una's chamber. I have enough to feed her. The route to the web glyph and defeating the pangolin is well within my reach. I've already been introduced to many new souls, some forcing my attention towards them, others watching from the rafters. But I'd like to look at one more, just to end on a relatively exciting note. Hopefully you notice the colours that Sister Una prefers. Crimson and azure. Anger and suffering. I can't think of a more disturbing mix, so let's see how that manifests in her character and in her chamber. Una's chamber is symmetrical, and off to each side, in completely separate corridors, there are these spiral staircases, the narrow warrens of a fortified castle, of which this forge bears very close resemblance. A seat of hardiness and strength, and hammers banging around just because. Everything about this place is designed to impose upon you, and the winding staircase is similar to what's found in a cathedral, which may or may not have anything to do with these naked, cross-shaped figures. Built into the architecture, watching down on the lady herself, who is on the floor below. The corridors are quite large and foreboding, so it's actually quite hard to find this area, and the only reason for being here is to obtain this heart, which I will now do.
Wasp. This glyph creates an annoying golem out of dust and dead roots. After creation, the wasp golem follows its creator until it's chased away with a drop of color. Annoyed at its rejection, the golem leaves its master and seeks out an enemy to harm. Upon colliding with the target, the wasp golem explodes and dies, scalding the victim with released color. The more color the golem is charged with, the farther it sees and the greater the damage it does on collision.
Our first true offensive glyph, the annoying wasp. There's a bit of a translation error here. It said we could paint this glyph to create a golem, and then charge it with colour to launch it at our enemies. This was how it worked in the Russian version, but it's since been simplified a bit, so the creation of the golem and the charging of it happens all in the same step, as I will now demonstrate. It said it would chase down enemies, but it doesn't do that either, and it doesn't explode immediately on contact with walls, but there's no actual use for curving it round. Either way, it's good enough for now, but I wouldn't mind getting an improvement. It'll be of little use on anything but the main predators, who move predictably towards you, and won't suddenly become invulnerable or dart up into the trees. Now let's head over to Una and see if her mind is as twistedly functional as her chamber is. Only now am I really starting to wonder where the chambers come from. It's quite possible that they're an embellished reflection of the Sister's mental states, either jagged and abstract like Sister Death's, calm and alluring like Sister Ava's, or very specific and driven but without any actual purpose, like this forge. The Sister stares with unblinking intensity into the flames, as if allowing them to consume her thoughts, either blotting them out or strengthening them with flickers of pain, as she kneels in deference before her fire, before her altar.
The one who lost you is trying to draw Color's attention to you, trying to fill you to support life inside you. Right now, I see. But don't get your hopes up, there'll be no return. The one who lost you expired long ago. You won't return, but you've been gifted with a miracle. On your way to death, you happen to linger here, in someone else's void. Your only chance to avoid death now is to become the soul of the sleeper. And that means learning how to handle color. Color is waiting for something. Find out for what, guest. You are responsible for us now. You are responsible for everything.
In the same sentence, she calls me guest and then says everything is on my shoulders. Thanks for that. And she just won't stop muttering to herself. But at least she's told me I have a chance to avoid death. Become the soul of the sleeper. If I was originally the soul of another void, then it won't be too hard for me to fill that role. But I need to learn how to use colour, and so far I've gotten no proper help there. She seems to have accepted the pain that she's in, but she's still more than willing to blame me for it, whether to satisfy herself or spur me into action. Not the best reaction. Sounds like one of those fireflies being burnt alive.
Whose fault is it that 40 sisters are gone forever? Each of them carried the seed of a new wonderful world. These worlds will never be seen, and it's entirely your fault. The famine started because you were absent too long. Spare at least the ones that survived. Have you seen the other sisters? Did you know what to do with color?
Wow, my apologies for taking so long to get here. I only had to be brought up from the brink of death. Did she really expect me to do more? And when I used the colour on the sisters, was that all that she means by knowing what to do and using it properly? Or was there something else I could have done? The very last thing she needs right now is some more anger in her, but this is the only way I'm going to get access to that web glyph. I was questioning whether it was right to feed the sisters before, but now this feels like a genuinely malicious act. I'm worried that she's going to do something crazy. Please don't unleash your fire gods on me. What was that all about? At least she seems at rest for now. Must have been tough.
Do you know how to handle color, so it doesn't go away again? Or so it can come up again and again like it used to? No. Right now, every drop that you've drawn is killing us. You fell into a trap, but you can still escape. When you finish with the pangolin, come and visit the other sisters. Ailey will arm you. Ima will reveal the secret key to your victory. And Ire will open your eyes to all the mistakes that you've made. Hurry before it's too late. You are responsible for everything.
So, it's time for a redemption I didn't even know I needed to undertake. There are some sisters that will give me things of immediate practical use, it sounds like, and others, like Ire, will hopefully finally tell me what it is I'm doing wrong. She overall sounded quite in control, but some of the things she said, I don't know whether to take them as writ or as some crazed rantings. It said right at the start that there was a 1 in 1,000 chance of me ending up in the void, but she said it was a miracle that I was here. It all depends on how many are passed through. If one soul had the chance of coming in every 1,000 years, then the chances would be incredibly small. Still, there's just something about her that makes me want to do everything that she says. So I'm going to, next time, go and defeat the pangolin, primarily to keep myself alive, but after that I'll try not to cause too much interference.
I'm scared. Why aren't you coming?
Oh, Ole, you're breaking my heart, not right now. So yes, in order to do the best that I can, I'm going to prioritize knowledge over sustenance, and seek the advice of the other sisters whenever I can afford not to do the tasks I've been given. Until then, I'm going to bag me a pangolin. Try not to wear any red or blue for a day, will ya?